And at that, welcome to today's stream. Well, it's the Saturday stream, of course, which means that we are going to play team games today. Today it's the 4 vs 4 Zero Peacetime 5K game stream. Um, I have to apologize for the people that have made themselves prepared for the tournament, but it got delayed until tomorrow to 19 o'clock Moscow time. So if there's no further delays, which I doubt, we'll be there then. Anyway, since this is a zero peacetime game, I'm going to have a rather rough time. Luckily, Colorfit is right behind me, so he might actually be helpful right there. Which he cannot be not helpful in zero peacetime, because I am actually the unhelpful person right here. Hope that'll change soon, because I'm going for the unstoppable Scottish Musketeers. And I already forgot what I'm doing because I have made an 15 PT start. I hope this won't bite me in the ass anytime soon. Which it might be very well very soon. What on earth? I'm already being attacked. That's not very kind, since I don't have any ammunition. And I am already severely outnumbered. Not good at all. This bit me into the ass way earlier than I thought it would. It's a new record. I hope the Call of Duty is going to support me soon though, with more than one musketeer. Pikeman I mean. Call of Duty plays Poland, so he obviously uses pikemen. And he scared the enemy off, so he is very effective. What a hero. And I don't know how this happened, why does this always happen to me, but apparently Baton is right in front of me, so I'm going to have a bad time. Considering that I'm completely fucking my start even harder by having not gold to produce any musketeers for half a minute or so now. Yeah, I think this game is going to be over very soon. At least if Collar doesn't manage to get his pikes in a good upgrade stance. I also forgot to use one of my town halls, so that's even better. And now I don't even have any ammunition. Things get better with the second tier. Unfortunately not for us. Excuse me if I heard that, but I couldn't hold it back. Apparently the capture is on, and I didn't notice it. So now I lost the town hall. Fantastic. This is really my lucky game today. With a crippled army, with a crippled economy, with crippled everything basically. I hope I can at least get my musketeer fire rate. Actually, I don't think I can get that anytime soon because I don't even have an academy. Fantastic. Yeah, I really fucked up this game, and I'm sorry for you, for the other players in this game, but I can't always do good. Oh, my marker just been killed. So now I have a market again, now I can have some more ammunition. I hope this will help. Because I cannot really support Call of it in any way right now. Pretty much on the long term actually, because my economy is pretty destroyed. And the red flank doesn't look too good either. And why on earth is Eindreier sending his peasants to attack? I hope that's a strategy of his. Because he literally just sacrificed his entire economy into nothing. Oh, and thank you, Nikki Baines, for another donation of 200 rupees. I think you should probably keep that money yourself, though. You cannot always donate stuff. It's nice, though, but you really shouldn't donate all of your monthly income into us. Poor me. At least we aren't somehow managing to survive this. Never mind, apparently we are not managing to survive this. Oh, that's more pikemen than I thought they are. Now I can start to rebuild myself inside of Call of Space, like a good old parasite. Unfortunately, I don't have any ammunition, so I cannot shoot. But I already requested some coal to make my unit shoot again. And there it is. So now we can engage the enemy once more. And there's a big raid on Call of it going on. My peasants are fighting them off bravely, at least for the time being. It's a ton of siege Cossacks, I won't lie, and they don't seem... peasants have won. What glorious bros. I'm basically now just hanging on to my life with some food economy in Call of Space, hoping that I will be able to recover myself to some extent at least. I doubt that I will get my first fire rate even anytime soon. But I'll work my way through there, slowly but surely. That's a lot of enemies right there. And my men are certainly not going to fight them. And apparently Call of It has got some suicidal winged hussars. I hope that he fixes this though. And I can finally afford my first fire rate, but now I cannot afford anything else, so yeah. And once I got my fire rate, I got attacked, and I didn't notice it. Apparently we're being just overrun. Because apparently the Baton enemy has made a double nation. Apparently colored as well, and everybody apparently takes his piece of my men, my brave landsmen. And that's it for me, I guess. I have nothing left except for the barrack and the academy, and I'm out. That was a quite savage battle. I just like this actually. Probably because I got destroyed so early on. Well, since I doubt that there's going to be anything else happening, because now the enemy can entirely focus on Andraya and Coswar. Yeah. It's perhaps going to be a steamroll, to be honest. Because apparently none of Coswar or Einraya had the chance, / took the chance, to make multi-nations as well. Whilst both Mahmud and Baton had multi-nation. Yeah. I'll just say I must see you in the next game then. Alright, and welcome back to the next battle. Mm, Now we have Colorfit, Andrea, Coswar, and Baton against Pepper, Apelsine, Petro, and Verhagen. Might be interesting. Might also be a steam world though, because both Colorfit and Baton, in my opinion, make a pretty overpowered team. Even though on the opposite team we have Verhagen, Petro, and Pepper, which are also pretty good. I think that, of course, Coswar is also pretty good, but I think he is a little bit slacking. I don't really know. Might be fair, might not be fair. We'll see when the game turns out. Well, anyway, it's still 0 peacetime and 5k, 4 vs 4 of course. And I doubt that this games will end anytime soon. And we have on the side of Colorfit a mixture of the Polish Coswars, no, never mind, the Austrian Coswars, and we have Colorfit who's Poland. Which might mean that they are going to have a rather easy time, because these round shears can soak up tons of damage, are pretty fast produced. They are quite expensive in iron, but that's not a big feat. At least not in the early game anymore, when you build an iron mine. Then you can produce them quite easily, and due to their heavy armor, they can tank a lot of damage, and even though they don't have as much damage themselves, I think, because they can take so much damage, they can even make more damage. And because they can tank so much, and they don't have the same attack range as the pikemen of Color, for example, they are going to go closer to the enemy, and the enemy will focus them instead. So he takes the damage, and Call of it is the punching force behind him. It might actually work if it might work, yeah, it will work if they move in one formation, if they work as one organism. Anyway, on the right side we already have some action. Apparently Petro tried to raid Einraya. These color names are really confusing me with the colors of the players. And now we have Petro, no Verhagen, I think, trying to raid Einraya again. And now Call of it is going to make a move for it, while Coswar is actually slacking behind a lot. But it shouldn't make a lot of a difference, since Call of it is only facing Beppa, and Beppa is Sweden and he has the Swedish 17th Musketeers. He's alone, and his ally is far away. Apparently Call of it is going to wait for the forces of Coswar though. You don't want to miss out on that armor value. And now they are moving in. Of course, Pepper's musketeers are going to shoot quite some of Call of Duty's pikemen dead, and archers obviously. At least there's quite a few of dead archers right there. But they won't stand a chance when Call of Duty's men are closing in, which they are. They are running away though. Won't help them though, because foot infantry and foot musketeers are just as fast as each other. So they they won't catch each other, they won't kill each other. Except if they are going to stand their ground like this, which is actually surprising because I fought it actually quite well right there. Perhaps because of the lack of armor that the Polish pikemen have. So they cannot take any bullet damage in contrast to the other normal um, literally normal pikemen of Europe, which they do have armor, but the Polish ones and Ottoman ones they don't. So they are not good for your fodder. You shouldn't use them as fodder, you should use them aggressively, really offensive. Don't stay back, don't have them as defensive units, just go in and hope for the best. Because otherwise you're just going to get shelled down by mercenary goons, archers, musketeers, everything basically. The only unit that this might not be the case with is the Russian spearmen, the light infantrymen in the very early game, and perhaps the Swiss and Spanish pikemen. And the next engagement is already close to be happening, because now Pepper got his reinforcements in form of Batons, not musketeers, pikemen and infantrymen, whereas Collar also has Coswar's men. Apparently a lack of round shields though, only infantrymen it looks like. I don't know where Coswar's round shields are. It feels like Coswar doesn't make any round shields. Actually he's just heavily guarding all of his buildings, so that might be why. However, there's a radar on Call of it apparently. It's super effective because Call of it did not seem to notice this. It made him lose a mine. 1 gold mine, 2 iron mines. Apparently Beppa has had a bad time right there, with Coswar destroying his entire base. I didn't notice it sadly, but it's very effective, because now Beppa doesn't have an economy for quite a while. However, the team of um, um, I think it's Petru. Um, it's yellow, okay? It's yellow. Uh, Yellow destroyed the base of Einreiher. That means that it's basically equalized now. So now Call of its team needs to push and put a lot of pressure onto the team of Baton. Not Baton, Pepper. Because Baton, he might actually have a few problems in this 2 versus 1 situation. Because I don't see him having any second nation at this point. Actually, I don't see anybody who has a second nation, so that's actually quite nice from them. Means that the battles are going to be somewhat fair. Matthew Gribowski, the two players that have colored names, I think that's a kind of glitch in the game at the moment. The devs kind of failed to fix it, and yeah, it's pretty bad. Somebody leaked information how to do this, and it's pretty bad actually. I think it's even dangerous. I'm not really sure to what extent. I cannot imagine the dangerousness, but you shouldn't do it, that's for sure. Besides, the red color of the bar of Hagen is killing my eyes. Luckily, the game time is in blue, so that's a nice color, and that doesn't disturb me. So I hope that answered your question. Apparently Petru just saved the ass of, well, not indeed saved the ass. He was too late apparently, because I did not notice, but the entire base of Appleton has been shredded into pieces. And it appears like, I think, I'm not sure, but I think that the armies of Colovid and Coswar, or at least Coswar, was able to fall back there. While Baden is having a good time fighting against the yellow player. So this might actually turn into a win for Colovid's team now, because at this point there's only two really, pretty much only two players left on the team of Beppa. Well, not exactly Beppa. The only two players pretty much left are yellow and purple at this point. And on the other team of Colovid, there is the Colovid, Coswar and Baton left. Einherjar might not be coming back anytime soon, even though he's rebuilding, but it shouldn't really put a difference right there. And apparently Coswar is a nasty little boy making a multi-nation. And Baton is supposed to also have 3 nations. That's disgusting, but I guess you cannot object to it. Such a disgusting tactic. Sadly, it's so effective. And apparently it looks like Purple is now going to engage Colorfits and Cosmos army, which they are not controlled and stand ground or anything, they are just moving in. Now we have a big purple blob moving in against the red big blob. Against the big red blob, I mean. Sadly that we don't have a big blue blob anymore because Peppa died. Only strategy gamers will get this little joke. Wink into you there. All of it. Apparently there was a little bit of a massacre going on. I didn't exactly see what happened because I was busy looking at the other side of the map, where Einherjar once more is under attack and having a bad time there. Now the army of Colorfit, Coswar and Purple are engaging. Apparently there's also some musketeers of Peppa in the back, but they don't have anything to shoot with, so they are not helpful there. We could have as well just sent them a spotter. to protect the men of purple. Instead, he's the first one to fall back at all. That's not very. That's not the most useful move of him. If I would have no chance to get any more ammunition and have some musketeers left, I would simply use them as fodder to protect my allies. And now the multinations are really starting to spread out here. I repeat, it's disgusting for me. Currently, Baton will save Einreiher's remnants from being destroyed by Yellow. But for some reason, Colorfit and Coswar seem to have taken massive casualties at the base of Appleton. I don't know for what reason. The army was way bigger than theirs, and I don't know why they would have lost so many at least. Perhaps because of these Algerian mercenary dragoons, which Purple made and brought to the battle. And Baton is engaging with Yellow. Since Baton's got a massive army of multi-nation, which has a massive armor force in it, it's pretty much over for Yellow. Because Baton apparently is not losing a lot of men there. And Team Colorfit has won, with the enemy team of Pepper capitulating now. Yeah, this sums this up. It was pretty balanced actually. I thought this would be a complete disaster for Pepper, but they held better than I expected. Yeah. Anyway, this sums this up, and I'll see you in the next game. And welcome back. And apparently I will call the enemy team of Petru, Rithman, Bahagan and Appleson just by their colors now, since their names are just confusing me with anything. Just as I will call Pepper Yellow. So I hope I will not mess it up anytime soon. Anyway, we are back with another 0PT 5K 4 vs 4 game. This time, Call of Witch Baitan Einreiher and Beppa versus Petro, Rifman, Verhagen and Appleton, as I just said. Yeah. The color of the names of people are just confusing me with the color of the people on the map. So I hope that I can not puzzle everybody up. Or I would just call everybody by his color this game, because otherwise it's just going to be too much fiddling. That'll be a good idea, I guess. The cooperation of red and yellow appears to be musketeers and Polish pikemen. Therefore, I think they are going to have a rather slow game, I think. I'm not sure though, at least the other side of the team of brown and blue shows those Austrians and Algerian pikemen, basically Roundsteers and Ottoman pikemen, which is ironic, because Ottomans and Austrians in history weren't really the biggest friends at all. So this is I guess, some kind of Italy tactic, changing sides and such. You know, the classics. We already got some blue hussars chasing some teal Mamluks though, which is quite funny because now there's teal siege Cossacks coming in. Did I just call blue siege Cossacks hussars? If I did so, I'm apologizing. But it's a bit confusing me right now that the other enemy team is completely colored in. The king must watch here? No, Marcus. There is no king that watches here. And Call of It is playing, so yeah. There is no king that's watching the game. It appears like blue and brown are on the defensive though, considering that brown did just die for some reason. Well, he didn't completely die, but he seems to be some kind of AFK for some time. Not fully AFK, but his reactions are very sloppy. At least blue is getting a bit offensive against pink and teal. However, since they are Austrian and Algerians as well, and blue is Austrian, I don't think that he can out-armor these guys. Considering that they both have more attack and the same armor as him, he's going to have a rather bad time there. And for some reason, Brown just decided to suicide his peasants into some pikemen of teal by trying to return back into his base. So that was a very foolish mistake. He should have simply put a mill or something like that next to Baton Space. I am actually managed to say that name. Yeah, he should have put a mill or something like that, or a storehouse next to Baton Space, and let the peasants collect there so they were safe, but now they are dead and not helpful. Yes, indeed, Marcus. Call of It is loyal to the Queen of England. However, since you said that the king has to watch here, I disagree, because Call of It is obviously the next king. Not of England, of tea, of course. Yes, indeed, Michael, I agree to you. Mercenary grenadiers are way better at destroying buildings than to fight themselves, and therefore I don't see a reason why people use them as a musketeer force to support their army. They could simply get mercenary dragoons like a lot of other people and counter them like this. I don't disagree with some people using some mercenary grenadiers as a reinforcement to destroy buildings. However, as I said, they are not good as a musketeer unit themselves. Oh, Marcus, you don't have a clue. Tea is needed by all Englishmen. And it appears like neither of the teams are having a lot of success at this point, though the team of lots of colored names is having more success than Call of its team, being able to somewhat distract the battling forces of Einherjar, who is making infantrymen now. Very ineffective considering that the Ottoman pikemen are just going to shred him into pieces. I don't even think that Brown is knowing what he is doing anymore. Because even though a lot of infantrymen is nice to see, I would go for quality approach here and take some Ottoman pikemen. Because they can at least fight against them without dying too hard. Because as we just saw, I hope the Call of It saw this as well, the infantrymen of Brown just got completely decimated by the pikemen of Teal, resulting in another loss of his base. I hope that this time, however, Brown does not send his peasants back to the pikemen of Teal, otherwise I think he is going to be out this time. However, this also means that the team of Yellow and Red do now have to put a lot of pressure onto the others to at least prevent them from helping or attacking with the others, so they can collect more, so they make a power balance. However, it seems like it's not going to happen. Fights are being avoided and picked poorly. However, it seems like Yellow has his musketeers fully upgraded, making them basically, it could be compared like a nuke to a to an ant or something like that. They are just going to kill everything in their path. Except if the enemy is also going to make musketeers now, which I doubt they will, because I only see very few players that are actually changing to musketeers when they already played most pikemen or roundheels the entire game before. A big engagement in the base of Baton. It's hard to see who's actually winning because nobody is really dying in this battle. Perhaps because it's an Austria versus Austria fight, and they both have the same armor, therefore they are not dying. It appears like Baton is going to win the engagement with the Austrians though, however the Ottoman pikemen are coming in as well. Which I think that they are actually going to pose the bigger damage. But since the Ottoman pikemen have way less armor than the Austrian roundshears, and Baton still has a few roundshears left, I think that he might pull this off somehow. Even though it does look like he's just losing his base. Yeah, he won't pull this off, I think, because there's more and more Ottoman pikemen coming in. However, by the looks of it, I think purple was it who he got destroyed. For the biggest part, his base is completely wiped out at this point. However, there's still green left. He's Poland, and he might still put a problem there. Perhaps Colopit wants to change to musketeers as well, slowly starting upgrading them, and then produce them when he's got the upgrades full. I would actually advise this to every player right now, except for the Algeria, because telling an Algerian player to go musketeers would be simply trolling. Algeria does not have any musketeers. Well, except for the Austrians, I probably wouldn't tell the Austrians to go for musketeers as well. Their roundheels are pretty good at tanking. And I think they are only losing their effectiveness when the game is very far in progress, which this case is preferably not going to happen in this game. Or better said, it's not going to happen in this game at all, because action is not stopping. There's another engagement from red and green. It appears like the archers of red have kind of killed his own men there, though. However, since red has got some mercenary dragoons, he might probably pull something off if he would have ammunition. It seems like he doesn't have ammunition right there. Pretty poor mistake, but you can't blame him. You can't always do shit right. However, there's a big engagement going on onto yellow's stank round line. Siege Cossacks from all sides and a big pink and purple blob onto the army of musketeers, making them incapable of shooting and simply mowing over them. What a tragic loss. They haven't even been moved, so they haven't even been noticed there from yellow. However, it looks like green is also dying right now. He has built some cannons though, which are now owned by Colopit. That's a quite generous donation right there, even though I suppose that he did not want to donate the cannons to Colopit. Meanwhile, Colopit seems to be successfully raided with some siege Cossacks from Teal. However, they were quickly repelled and they didn't do any damage, I think. Except for probably one coal mine or so. And now the massive purple and pink blob is moving in to call off its main force, which they actually are using the cannons to shell back now. Smart decision, however the cannons are not going to be fast enough to catch up if they keep retreating. It appears like they are going to stop on this little hill though, which is going to give them a massive advantage in the fire range of both cannons and dragoons. And it appears like blue has, or Baton better said, has destroyed the base of pink with 5 siege Cossacks. There was quite some massive damage. Don't know how he did that, considering that I think peasants are also stopping capture. This must be some Hulk siege Cossacks then. Or probably he mistook them for undercover headmen, I don't know. But that's some serious damage there. Not even flex tape can fix this. However, the battle is far from over. Considering though that most of the enemy team has lost their base once, and with this their economy, it's a pretty much 2 versus 1, plus some armies that have been left. So red and yellow and blue need to put pressure now. They need to cut down on the enemy's economy and armies, otherwise they are not going to be too successful right here. Because if the enemy rebuilds their bases and economies, they have once more full strength, whilst team of red is not going to. Most people are rebuilding at the base of yellow, so they are counting on his protection. However, if all the enemies are just smashing down on yellow, while rebuilding their own economy of course, yellow's not going to survive. The massive army of red and yellow is now moving in on the base, on the leftover base of pink to destroy him, I think. Well, that will be at least the most reasonable solution for this problem. And they are quite successful with a bunch of mercenary dragoons. They can just simply push on them the entire day and kill everybody, because either they engage and fight them and probably won till a few moments ago, or they could just retreat as they are now and die. And they are retreating and dying, and in fact, so they are taking the not so smart approach in my opinion. And apparently yellow has not even paid attention to his own base, which has been quite obviously on the minimap being attacked by the forces of teal. I mean, come on. Even if you look at the battlefield and you are completely into the battle, I do see the forces of teal moving in on yellow. And now Call of Duty is having a massive reserve force waiting to attack with waiting to attack the pink base, and for some reason I see the dragoons of Call of Duty, red by the way, just sitting inside of the pink army right there. It's pretty glitchy at the moment. The entire battle is lagging as hell, and yeah, and Beppa is stating that this game is not meant to be an 8 players game. Indeed, it appears like, oh, and Aristotle is roasting Cossacks, stating it is not supposed, not that it's not meant to be a game at all. Well, sometimes you could almost agree. Sometimes you could say it's a bug simulator or glitch simulator. At least according to the amount of glitches and bugs that is actually happening. Like now, for example, Call of it seems to have massive lags and be incapable of reacting. The game is very slow as well. And we have lag spikes over and over, and Baton has given up. That's pretty sad, considering that he had some Swedish mines in the north, which he could simply rebuild with after Call of it was done with Pink. So that was a little bit of a overkill, pretty much. It was a way too fast leave. Appears like people from the enemy team have left as well. I haven't seen who though, except for Hagen. Who was the, I think, pink player? Yeah, he was the pink player. Now we have basically a situation where Call of it has to go all in now, otherwise he's going to die. Because the army of teal is busy fighting the remnants of yellow and brown. It might be stuck there for a little while longer, so Call of it has to be aggressive now. Which I think he is, and I think it's going to be an easy win now. Considering that the entire army of teal is actually busy, they cannot really move away from them, since he's apparently using attack on the move, so his men are just going back and forth on the base of yellow, because the barracks are spawning more men to fight. Therefore, the game has now ended apparently, with teal surrendering and the game being wrapped up. It was quite interesting indeed. I like this battle. Well, and let's wrap up the battle now. And I'll probably see you in the next battle then. And welcome back with this to the last game for today. And once more, the teams are Profit, Baton, Japan Coswar against Petru, Riffman, Apelsin, and Vahagen. I I I think that the teams have changed from last game. I'm not sure. I'm also not going to scroll back for that, but it's going to be interesting because for people of GFF, and GFF is, as far as I know, a pretty skilled clan in this game, we're going to be interesting. Will be going to be interesting indeed, and I hope we'll see some interesting battles, even though they shouldn't last too long. And Zainab Haidar, this stream, in general, this channel is never going to feature Ukraine play, except if it's in tournament rules, which this is only very rare. So don't expect any Ukraine in this channel, please. It's pretty much always banned in games. Apparently we are going to see some Austrian and Polish cooperation on the side of Call of it. Might be interesting. But then again, why is there two Austrias on the team of Call of it? That's a little bit unfair, I think, since the enemy does not have two Austrias. I think that's... I hope at least that this is supposed to be for balancing reasons. I'm certainly not sure though. Because two Austrias are better than one Austria and one Algeria, by far. And there's already some Siege Cossacks engagement going on between Call of it and Green. And also some raids onto Coswar from Purple. Whilst there's also fights going on between Beppa and Yellow. And Baton and Teal. It's mostly just siege engagements though. But the first army of Baton is already at the gates of the enemy, so they might as well just go in quite soonishly. And Call of it trying to bait away the pikemen of Green by charging some siege Cossacks in there. At least I think that he tried to. Rather not successful because he fell back. Perhaps because the pikemen of Green actually having a massive armor advantage. And I think they also have a little bit of health more. Actually, no, they don't have any more health. They just have the armor better. Which is going to give them some extra protection. Basically does mean that they have more health in if you take it seriously, I mean. Because if you can take more damage by having more armor, you are technically having more health than the enemy. Technically, of course, not practically. The health on its own, it's always the same. And now Green is doing a fatal mistake, letting himself get cut down by the Cossacks of Colorfit, and letting the pikemen of Colorfit also march up on him, meaning that if he could have charged back at the hill there, and probably killed Colorfit there, but he decided to not. Now Colorfit's got some reinforcements there, which I think are going to kill him anyway. And indeed they are. Whilst there's an engagement of 18 going on the other side of the map, not successful because Pepper hasn't helped them at all. Pepper is trying to go for the classical around Maginot approach, being rather unsuccessful, being soon to be attacked by the forces of Yellow. Whilst Colorfit burned down the base of Green. Colorfit's also got a multi-nation now, making him, I think, the first person to do so. And indeed he is. Oh, you bad little boy, Colorfit. Can't let you 1 second alone. Sus. Anyway, now Purple also starts to make the Austrian hordes. I hope I didn't spoil that now. I hope that the team of Colorfit already noticed that. Which I think they should, because it's obvious when enemies take a mine and such rules and take out the peasants, they are obviously going to go for the multi-nation approach. And apparently Purple's army has defeated Colorfit's army in the base of Coswar. Somewhat at least. I mean, Colorfit's men stand superior now. However, the base of Coswar is completely down to the stone, basically. Meanwhile, Baton is desperately trying to defeat the army of Yellow and Teal in a battle. He could potentially go in because he's got the round shears, Austrian round shears, which are very effective against the Ottoman pikemen, and I think due to their high armor and the Ottoman pikemen's lack of own armor, of course they can be trained to have more resistance to damage. However, their lack of armor means that they are vulnerable to sword attacks, basically every attack actually, quite early. And quite early is in this stage yet. Michael, I have to disagree now. I dislike games with capture. Of course, they are quicker indeed. I won't disagree with that. But with the multi-nation possibility, I think that games are not more interesting at all. I think that games are just turning into a steamroll at this point, because people are just going to be capable of making twice as many men as you. So you have to counter it, getting an own multi-nation to also make men twice as fast as normal people. So it's either going to turn into a steamroll, into a stalemate, or into a massive laggy bunch of battles, because there's so many men on the field. So in my opinion, it's a bad decision to leave capture on just to have multi-nations in your game. It will be perfectly fine for capture to just up to destroy your enemy's base and get him out of the game very fast. That's okay. Because that means there's not going to be any more units on the battlefield. In the directly opposite, there's going to be less units in the battlefield, less lag, a faster game, basically. It depends on your taste, though. If you like multi-nations, I cannot really say that you suck, which would be quite rude as well. So, I'm not going to say that. I don't even think that you suck. Just because you like multi-nations, it's your own taste. However, don't expect them in Call of It games, because usually the capture's off. I think this is an exception because tomorrow there's going to be a tournament with these exact settings, I think. So it's a rather preparation stream today. And apparently Call of It is just won against the mighty Purple Army. Now taking some arrows to the knee and to the face, which I doubt that they are going to disturb him very much. However, just as we are talking about this, Green is on the rise again. Somewhat at least. He has rebuilt some more men and he's marching to help his ally apparently. I'm not sure if he actually does, but it looks like he is. It appears like Peyton is in a kind of pickle situation right now with the enemy all over his base. I don't know, I doubt that his economy really survived this attack. I think that a lot of peasants died there, and he's having a little bit of a pressurized time right now. However, since two of the players of the enemy team have been pretty much rolled at this point, I think that they are still having a good chance. Even though Coswar is basically dead himself. Of course he isn't dead, but he seems to be rather incapable of doing anything at the moment. And now Call of It is getting even nastier, making an Austrian multi-nation now. I guess he can't stop. Especially considering that I don't see an enemy with a double nation. Or actually I'm not sure if he's actually rebuilding there or not. His base is actually confusing me, which yellow is living in, or sending his army in. I don't know if that's actually Verhagen's base or his own base, because he's building stuff there as well. However, it looks like this base is being surrendered now. Means that Baton is having an easy time defeating the army of yellow, and probably some remnants of teal, because yellow and teal are only having meat shield units and only very few effective combat units like the mercenary dragoons and the Mamluks. Yeah, they have been wiped out. Means that there's only yellow left, who is in a position to threaten the other team. And since he is basically Algeria, he has no chance anyway. Oops. The magic of moving your table. So yeah, this battle has been quite decisive actually. I thought it would be a little bit more interesting. However, it was quite funny that Coswar died so early. Anyway, this game is over, and since this was the last game, Call of it announced this in the in-game chat at least. Uh, I guess I'll say goodbye, and see you tomorrow. Most likely with the stream of this tournament, this that was announced, delayed until tomorrow. And yeah, have a nice day, have a nice evening. I'll see you then, and bye bye.